When Manaz contacted me about moderating this panel, I became very excited. I'm at the Ford Foundation now, but I spent the greatest part of my professional career at a human rights organization. And my portfolio at Ford involves both domestic women's rights organizations and international women's rights organizations. And it was a way to be more immersed in the conversation about rights than I had been probably in the last couple of years. So I'm excited to be here today, and I'm excited to see a variety of people in the audience, and obviously especially young women. And what is the college that was represented earlier? Salem. I'll have to hear the story of how we have so many Salem College participants in the audience, but it's a very wonderful thing. One of the things that appealed to me about moderating the panel was the questions that the panelists themselves are going to, the areas they're going to cover, and that it brought to mind for me the importance of this ongoing dialogue that I think happens at the individual level, kind of personally. And I liked very much that Joaquin talked about the power dynamic that is in the home and in the world, and that these are actually mirrors of one another. Too often we kind of segregate these issues of power and domination and don't see how pervasive they are in the private and the public spheres, and how mutually reinforcing they are, in fact. So one of the attractive points I think that the panelists will talk about is the universality of rights as a way forward and as a solution that opens possibilities. We are in a world now where the discourse about rights pits universality against a certain, individualism or a certain exceptionalism sometimes. And I really do think that a reiteration about the universality of rights as a solution is imperative. And that talking about the universality of rights does not mean the suppression of individual identity, nor the suppression of culture, nor the suppression of religion, whatever one's religion. It doesn't mean an abandonment of who you are. But it does call for then, and it's imperative that there be an actual exploration of what those differences are, that you cannot suppress differences, and that, in fact, there is no need to. It means reclaiming rights and redefining them, and making sure, some of the other speakers have mentioned, that they apply to all in ways that make sense and in ways that, in the final analysis, improve everyone's life. Because rights in theory are almost as good as no rights at all. And on that note, I guess I want to start by introducing our very, very esteemed panelists. And I want to start with my immediate left with Karima Benoon, who's a professor of law at Rutgers University. She's on the Board of Trustees of the Center for Constitutional Rights and on the Council of the Network of Women Living Under Muslim Laws. Her articles are published in many leading academic journals, including the American Journal of International Law, the Columbia Journal of Transnational Law, and the European Journal of International Law. She has served as a consultant on human rights issues for the International Council on Human Rights Policy, the Soros Foundation, and the Coalition to Stop the Use of Child Soldiers. Zaina Anwar is a project director of Musawa for Equal Rights in the Family and the former executive director of Sisters in Islam, a Malaysian NGO that is dedicated to promoting rights within the framework of Islam. She was formerly a member of the Human Rights Commission of Malaysia, a chief program officer for the political division of the Commonwealth Secretariat in London, and a senior analyst at the Institute of Strategic and International Studies. She was a political and diplomatic writer for the New Straits Times in Kuala Lumpur. Her book, Islamic Revivalism in Malaysia, Dawah Among the Students, is a standard reference in the study of Islam in Malaysia.